Baking hot, an incredible Paul Ricard circuit. Yesterday, we had a thrilling fight at the front of the field, but it was John Philippi who came through at the end to take the race victory in front of a home crowd, and with it, earned back 13 points against his teammate and championship rival, Tom Coronel, at the front of the field. Now, in TCR Europe, we have a reverse grid top 10 in our second race. So our three championship rivals will be starting right at the back of the field for this one, which should be a thrilling race. As usual, we have a collection of new and experienced drivers on the grid. We've got Victor Anderson, new to the world of touring cars this season. He's going to be starting on the front row. He'll be looking for a big result. Aurélien Comte, returning to the championship, finished 5th yesterday in a quiet race in the SP competition Cupra. He'll be hoping for a bit more drama, a bit more action, and another very solid result at the end of today. But this man, Levente Lesonche, is our driver who starts on pole position. He qualified in 10th place yesterday morning, started in 10th position in the race, had a disappointing event, finishing in 9th overall, but he'll be at the very sharp end of the grid today. This is a big opportunity for the aggressive Team Italia driver to get a good result against his name in the championship this season. Victor Anderson is a driver that we know is rapid. We know, even though it's the Generation 1 Lincoln Co., that car can produce quick times for MAGP, starting in 2nd position. This is the best opportunity this season for Victor Anderson to get a big result. Victor Davidovski, in 3rd position on the grid. He's a driver that's in an intense title fight in the championship standings with Lewis Brown. Davidovski on 177 points, Lewis Brown on 162. So he can do his championship charge to secure that 5th position, the world of good today. Ruben Volt had a strong race yesterday. He's back in TCR Europe for ALM Motorsport in a Honda Civic Type R FL5 TCR. He'll be hoping to consolidate on what was a good result in 6th yesterday with another strong finish. There is Lewis Brown that we spoke about, starting in 5th position for Volcano Motorsport. He's locked in a fight with Dusan Borkovic, with Victor Davidovski and himself in 5th, 6th and 7th in the overall standings. So he'll be hoping a good result today can help him in that championship charge. Aurélien Comte has a relatively easy day ahead of him. He's not here full-time in TCR Europe. He's returning to the championship in which he won in 2017. Today is all about the result for himself and his team, SP Competition. And Nico Baldan, he'll be starting 7th on the grid. Yesterday started 4th, got a lightning start for the run down at T1, managed to find a way past Kobe Powles and Tom Coronel, and then harried our race winner John Philippi right to the checkered flag. Can he do anything from 7th on the grid? We will find out. And can this man, Kobe Powles, do anything from position 8? Kobe, another rookie in TCR Europe. This is the 1st season in touring cars, and he has been so incredibly impressive this year. He's locked in a championship challenge with this man, Tom Coronel, our championship leader, and then yesterday's winner, John Philippi, that we see on our screen now, will be starting in 10th position on the grid, courtesy, sorry, not 10th position on the grid. He'll be starting, yes, 10th position on the grid. He was pole yesterday, of course, and our race winner. So Philippi, Powles and Coronel, 3 drivers very much at the forefront of the championship, fighting for the top positions, and they start 10th, 9th and 8th respectively. So this is our starting grid. Levente Lesonche for aggressive Team Italia is on pole position, and Victor Anderson for MAGP, in the only Lincoln Co in the field, is 2nd. Victor Davidovski shares row 2 with Ruben Volt. Lewis Brown in 5th place for Volcano Motorsport, ahead of Aurélien Comte. Nico Baldan, 2nd yesterday, 7th on the grid today, and he's alongside his teammate Kobe Powles in 8th position, the highest of the championship challengers. Tom Coronel is 9th alongside teammate John Philippi in 10th. Then it's Dusan Borkovic and Marco Butte, with Daniel Kachenko in 13th, and another new driver to the championship this weekend, Sasha Botterman, starting in 14th position. Botterman got involved in a little bit of drama with Kachenko yesterday. They both retired on the opening lap with contact in the T3, T4 complex. So he'll be hoping for a much neater and a much calmer opening lap to this race to get all-important mileage with himself and the car, because Sasha is new to the world of touring cars, having traditionally plied his trade in GT4 machinery. So the more mileage he can do, the higher his experience level will be, and hopefully for him, the higher the performance threshold in that blue and white SP Competition Cupra that you see on your screen there. Formation lap will be completed by these drivers, and then they'll roll on round to the grid for a standing start. Ahead of us, we have 10 laps of competitive racing for this round 10 of TCR Europe here in 2023. As I mentioned at the top of the show, Tom Coronel, John Philippi and Kobe Powells are the ones to watch during this race. They are very much the three locked in to the title battle. After we've been at Paul Ricard, we'll travel to Monza in September for our penultimate weekend of the year, and then finish off the season at the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalonia. So this is the crunch time for the championship this year. Every result you can score will be vital to your championship challenge. Coronel 28 points advantage over John Philippi. Kobe Powells 49 in arrears of Coronel, which sounds like a lot, but you only need one good race and your rival to struggle, and all of a sudden you're very firmly back in the championship charge. Victor Davidovski down there in 5th position, 150 away from the lead, but only 15 ahead of Lewis Brown. Davidovski won here last season for ComTU Racing. Lewis Brown, first season in TCR Europe competition. Brown will be very keen indeed to see what he can do about putting a good result in and closing that gap to Davidovski as they squabble over 4th, 5th and 6th in the overall TCR Europe standings. So that's another battle within a battle that we need to keep our eye on, and that is the Volcano Motorsport Audi of Lewis Brown. Spoke to him after the race yesterday. The setup went away from him a little bit in comparison to what we had in free practice and qualifying. There was some understeer, some chatter in the front of the car that really limited the pace of that Volcano Motorsport machine. They were looking to make changes overnight. Obviously, the cars haven't been out on track before this race since we raced last time yesterday, so they'll be hoping the changes that they've made at Volcano will facilitate a faster speed and more performance from the number 39 machine of Lewis Brown. We'll keep our eye on that one. Just ahead of him, Ruben Volt for ALM Motorsport, the sole car for ALM Motorsport, the sole Honda on the grid this weekend, the brand new Honda, the FL5. Ruben Volt doing a good job yesterday, had a quiet race, got a fantastic overtake on Victor Davidovski, probably the overtake of the weekend that we've seen so far into the final corner. So we know that he's keen to show some aggression, keen to get a good result, and we'll keep our eye on how Ruben Volt can bolt off of the line when we go green in a few moments' time, as the last of the cars now circle their way through the final corner. They'll be looking for their grid spot, not the easiest task in a touring car, to find your markers in your box, and they'll be lining up and we'll be going racing in a few moments' time. Levente Lasonche a little bit back from his markers there, giving away a bit of advantage, I think it's fair to say, on the grid to Victor Anderson. Anderson in the bright orange Lincoln Co that you see on the left-hand side of your screen. He will be desperate to put a good race together here this afternoon. And let's get ready, folks, to go racing. The lights at the top of your screen will go red, then they will extinguish, and we will get very loud and very excited on track. Here we go, TCR Europe Round 10 at Paul Ricard is go. A good start from the front of the grid for both our front row starters. An horrendous start for Ruben Volt, pirouetting down to the back of the field. Wheel spin off the line, overtaken by almost everybody. And Victor Davidovski in the ComTU machine has a good start. Kobe Powells, his teammate, trying to find his way around the outside as well. Kobe Powells just a little bit further back. Victor Anderson losing several places off of the line, so a terrible start from second on the grid for the Lincoln Co driver. Victor Anderson all the way down in 6th, 7th position. Tom Coronel for company as well. Coronel looks to the outside, becomes the inside, takes the position away. Good move for Tom Coronel. Ruben Volt still on the racetrack, but all the way towards the back of the field. We've got one of the SP cars as well. That is bottom man, I think, just losing out as Kachenko throws the car down the inside. But it is Levente Lasonche that is our race leader from Victor Davidovski, Nico Balban, Kobe Powells, Aurelien Comte in 5th position, a 5th that he's made his own somewhat this weekend, but holding on from the attentions of Tom Coronel behind. Coronel never one to lead things to the last minute, as we see at the front of the field. Davidovski throws the car to the inside. Victor Davidovski in a bid for the race lead takes it away from Levente Levente Lesonche, great overtake by the Macedonian driver. Davidovski leads now on the conclusion of the halfway mark of this opening lap. Lesonche trying to find a way past, looking into the rear of the Audi ahead, but not enough overlap for the Hyundai Elantra N TCR. Kobe Powell's in third position, keeping a watching brief as well. Aurelian Comte now going side by side with Nico Baldan through Senior. Baldan has to go around the outside of the bollards. He'll slide back in again for Bousset, just about holding on from Aurelian Comte. Coronel though, can he take Aurelian Comte? He's got the inside line, but not quite enough of an overlap for the experienced Dutch driver. Coronel stays behind, but now looks to the inside again. Comte has the line covered. Experience there from the 2017 champion, holding off Coronel, but Coronel's got his elbows out. He's on his tippy toes. He wants to minimise the potential for any championship drama. Levente Lesonche back on the inside. Lesonche's not giving up on this one. Retakes the race lead. Kobe Powell buys into it now. Kobe Powell side by side with Davidovski in the front of the field, but that is an audacious move from the aggressive Team Italia driver. Retakes the race lead. Davidovski trying to find a little bit of real estate to slot back into, and now it's Kobe Powell's. Belgian driver Kobe Powell's to the outside of the Hungarian Levente Lesonche in the drag down into T1. They stay side by side, a little bit of kiss as well between the two of them. Powell's had to exit stage right to avoid any kind of further contact. He's got the race lead, but that was under slightly confusing circumstances, and Lesonche loses out now again to not one but two ComTU drivers as Nico Baldan decides, I fancy a run at this one, and he makes a move on Davidovski. So Baldan now finds himself in second position. Davidovski squabbling to get back on to that second step of the podium. While all the drama is unfolding at the front of the field, Lesonche's down in fourth, just ahead of Comte, just ahead of Coronel, just ahead of Lewis Brown as well. Ruben Volz recovering to 8th position. John Phillippe's having a sedate start to this race, from 10th on the grid to 9th in the race so far. So John Philippe not having the start he was looking for, while his championship rivals and teammates move their way up the running order. As Lesonche now sideways, Lesonche in the aggressive Italian car, sideways, gathers everything back up together again, sensibly stays to the runoff to the outside to let enough room for the rest of the pack to work their way through. So that's a good rejoin for Levente, but some kind of dramas in the middle of the pack, and the race that started so incredibly strong for the 264 is beginning to fall apart, as now he's side by side with one of the Volcano cars. They make it through, so Lesonche now under pressure from Ruben Volz, who makes it through, and maybe there's a bit of a drama with that aggressive Team Italia car, because Levente Lesonche is dropping like a stone as we see further overtakes further down the pack. That is John Philippe under pressure from Kachenko. Kachenko finds his way past, so Daniel Kachenko having by far and away the best race of his TCR short TCR Europe career, finds his way past second in the championship man John Philippe, as Tom Coronel is sniffing, is hunting, is trying to find a way past Aurelian Comte. Coronel in 5th position. Aurelian Comte here for this weekend only in the SP competition Cupra. Coronel will be desperate to find a way past that Cupra and see if he can stay in touch with our trio of ComTU racing cars at the front of the field. Right, let's take a moment now just to gather our composure and have a look who the winner and the losers are for this start. As there is Daniel Kachenko. Is that Kachenko or is that Lewis Brown? That is Kachenko running a little bit deep and wide. He rejoins the circuit without too much drama, just behind the back of Bottom Man, I think it is, and just ahead of Victor Anderson. Victor Anderson, one of the biggest losers on this opening lap for sure, started in 2nd position. Not sure what's happened, but he's all the way down in 12th position in the number 10 MAGP Lincoln Co. 01. So bad start there as Lewis Brown now attacks Ruben Volt. Side by side they go. Volt having to go to the escape area, to the hatchings on the side of the circuit. He gets back on the racetrack. They continue side by side. Does Lewis Brown have the overlap on the Honda? Can the Honda beat Brown on the brakes into the chicane? Brown has the inside line. He has the advantage, but Ruben Volt's not giving this one up. He holds the car to the outside, becomes the inside for the second stage of the corner. Great bravery from Ruben Coll, great racecraft to maintain position. 7th place he is further down the running pikes, and now Brown has to go again. Behind him is the aggressive Team Italia car of Lasonche as well, keeping in touch with the fight. He's refound his pace. Once again has Lasonche in 8th position. He wants to try and recover some places from the lightning fast and incredibly exciting start from the Hungarian driver. He's got apart a little bit since then, but there's plenty of racing still to do as John Philippi watches on in 9th place behind. Terrible start for Philippi, really. Made up 1 place from his qualifying position, but still, he's nowhere near as aggressive in these opening laps as his Come2U teammates, and this is bleeding points in the championship for French driver John Philippi. He needs to get a move on and do it very quickly indeed, otherwise he's going to be losing too much to his main rivals. Tom Coronel at the head of the field, and in 3rd place, Kobe Powell's. There is Tom Coronel, just getting a little bit over the curbs on the final corner in his attempt to get past Davidovski. That one's no problem. Victor brushes it aside and in fact goes to the charge on Aurelien Comte ahead of him. So this is for the bottom step of the podium. Davidovski, via hair's breadth, has to drop back in a 2nd position. Good bit of driving from French driver Aurelien Comte in the SP competition car. He holds on to 3rd place. His teammate Sasha Botterman goes wide, but Davidovski again on the attack. Davidovski again on the inside, not quite late enough on the brakes, but he keeps it on the racetrack. Aurelien Comte does not. Davidovski holds on, still has the inside line, and now has the position for his troubles. A little struggle off of the corner, but has the line covered, gives Aurelien Comte nowhere to go. And next up the list is Tom Coronel, lights ablaze in the black and red machine. Coronel trying to hang on to teammate Davidovski. Remember, Victor Davidovski's got form on this track. He won in 2022, but so did Tom Coronel, and he wants another trophy from this weekend. Comte now back on the attack, aggressively looks to the inside, doesn't have the overlap, has to slot back in behind the Come2U car, and for good measure runs a little bit deep in the first part of the chicane, so this is opportunity aplenty for Coronel. On my timing screen, I've seen incident involving cars 22 and 264. T1 lap 2 has been noted. Car number 22 and 264 being Levente Lasonche, car 22 being Kobe Powell's, our current race leader. Coronel now to the inside. Coronel now past, thank you very much. Ruben Vol likes the look of that one. Besides, he'll have a go as well and takes the position away. So a double overtake on Aurelien Comte, the 76, dropping down now into 6th position. Coronel up into 4th and Ruben Volt up into 5th. Good move by both of those drivers, and the Cupra struggling a little bit in that section of corners. And here at Paul Ricard, there are so many interlocking corners amongst each other. Make a mistake in one, that's going to compromise you in several thereafter, and Comte trying to make amends to that one as quickly as possible. Can he do a Volt on Volt? Not quite. Ruben looks to the inside of Coronel. That was a little bit unnecessary in the final corner. Coronel already was defending the line. That's going to compromise the Honda for the run down the start-finish straight. You can see Aurelien Comte looking to the outside already, trying to find a bit of clear air. He's going to try and set a move up, not for this turn, but for 2 corners down the road, but he's not quite got enough of an overlap. He can't carry the momentum enough behind the back of that Honda. And then John Philippi moving up into 7th position now, fancies his chances as well. Damage recovery for John Philippi as he's trying to stay in touch with his teammates and championship rivals ahead to add to the victory of yesterday. Lewis Brown in the background there, you see, just keeping a watching brief as Philippi trying every which way to find a way past Comte ahead. And Philippi, he'll know that this is not going to be an easy overtake. Aurelien's a fast driver, he's an experienced driver, a former champion in TCR Europe, well versed in the pros and cons of racing at the circuit Paul Ricard. So Philippi's got to be strong, he's got to be decisive in this move. We see moving to the inside nice and early is Philippi. He's not close enough to make a move, but he's just filling the mirrors of French driver ahead, giving Aurelien something to think about, something to consider other than the task of driving the car ahead in the hope that he'll make a mistake. Aurelien Comte, he's been here before, he's been around the block a few times. Mistakes don't come easily to the French driver. Philippi's going to have to work a little bit harder if he wants to find a way past. Looking further down the running order, Victor Anderson now from second on the grid has dropped all the way to 12th and last position on the track. Last lap time around a 2:16.809, plays a 2:14.312 for race leader Kobe Powell. So there's some kind of drama inflicted upon the MAGP driver all the way at the back of the field. And once again, if Victor Anderson didn't have bad luck, he would have no luck at all. We know he's got the pace, we know he's got the talent, he just can't quite manage to get it all to click across a race weekend yet. But mark my words, he will be a future winner for sure in touring cars. As Coronel now goes for the attack, does the Ruben Volt in the final corner, takes the position away from Victor Davidovski. Good move by Coronel to get himself on the podium. Decisive overtake on teammate Davidovski. They drag now down into the first corner, but I don't think Davidovski has got quite enough of an overlap. Coronel has the inside line, is good on the brakes in that number 34, and there we go, sealed the deal. Good move by Coronel. Davidovski is not keen on respecting the fact these two drivers are teammates at all, is he? Look how he's immediately back on the rear of Coronel's car, just showing his nose a little bit to the inside to assess whether there's an opportunity, but Victor Davidovski isn't giving up on this one yet. He fancies the podium for himself. Ruben Volt keeping his watching brief in the background too. Volt in 5th position, another strong drive for the ALM Motorsport machine in 5th position, but very much within touching distance of the TCR Europe podium here at Paul Ricard. He's got work to do though. Victor Davidovski and Tom Coronel, very experienced drivers, the pair of them, are holding firm ahead as John Philippi now again goes for some fresh air, tries to get some cooler air in the intake of that Audi behind. It's so hot here at Paul Ricard, you've got to be careful to manage the temperatures of the cars. Of course, in traffic as well, with the slipstream, the heat coming from the car in front, it's very, very important to make sure fresh air is going in to the radiator of that machine. You're not overheating the car, you're not putting yourself in a risk of mechanical dramas further into this race as we are on lap 6 of 10 here at Paul Ricard. Kobe Powell's now leading the race by 2.4 seconds from Nico Baldan. Baldan, another great start and great drive. And there is Ruben Volt. By the way, Ruben Volt on the inside of Davidovski. He left the door open. Did Victor Davidovski. No second invitation required from the 127. Ruben Volt darts to the inside, and that's moved him into 4th position now, just behind Tom Coronel. So Davidovski started to fade a little bit in this race. He was great in the opening laps, very aggressive, very excitable to watch, but now starting to shed a little bit of pace is Victor Davidovski in that number 11. And this is the opening, this is the second lap, sorry, and the investigation by the stewards, Lasonche and Kobe Powell's coming together. Powell's having to exit on the escape road to get back on the racetrack, and Lamented Lasonche, Kobe Powell's fighting for the same bit of tarmac where only one car will go. That outcome was always going to be inevitable, and our stewards are investigating that one. Hopefully we'll find out the outcome of that before too long, as we're looking at this fight now. 6th position, Aurelian Comte, John Philippi just behind him, Victor Davidovski just ahead of him. A Comte sandwich, if you will, and the meat of that sandwich is the SP Competition Cupra TCR returning driver Aurelian Comte, there's Levente, Lasonche. It all started so well, but ends in pit lane. And Comte, while we were looking at that one, makes the move, runs deep into the corner. Davidovski fights back and retakes the position, but the French driver hasn't given up on this one yet. Around the outside, Aurelian Comte around the outside, belies his lack of recent experience in TCR Europe, showing everybody how it's done, and that is a sensational overtake, and John Philippi now buys into this one as well. Philippi sees an opportunity to take a position away from his teammate Victor Davidovski, and does just that into the chicane. 2 positions lost for Victor Davidovski. There you go, seen it on your screen, the contact between the two drivers, no investigation necessary, so that's good news. And this is the move. Aurelian Comte deep on the brakes, great overtake. Davidovski, though, immediately retaliates, gets the position back, Comte's wise to that one, uses the switchback, gets the launch off the corner, and then as we saw a little bit further on, uses all the bravery and more to stick around the outside and get the deal done. Great driving, a great return to TCR Europe for Aurelian Comte. 5th position in the Cupra. We don't see Cupra very often nowadays in TCR Europe, so it's great to have the brand back, it's great to have the team here, it's great to have Aurelien and his teammate Sascha Botterman currently running in 9th position on his touring car debut as well. So it's fabulous additions to the grid, and it's great to see a returning champion showing he's lost absolutely none of the speed and tenacity that we saw back in 2017 in this car. Great drive from Brilliant Comps. Lewis Brown on the other end of the spectrum, of course, is a debutant in TCR Europe this year. He's a race winner in the United Kingdom in TCR UK. He's come to Volcano Motorsports, doing the full season with Volcano. He's currently 8th in the race behind his rival for championship position, Victor Davidovsky, behind. So Lewis will be incredibly keen to wind himself onto the back of Victor Davidovsky and see if he can find a way past and try and close the gap between those two drivers in their championship fight. And further front, John Philippi not giving up hopes and expectations yet of disposing Aurelien Comte from that 5th position that he currently holds. So Philippi, slow start to this race, it has to be said, not quite as aggressive, not quite as dramatic, although there we go, that's some drama. Aurelien Comte decides he fancies doing a bit of drifting, using the handbrake rather than the gear stick through the turn, so sideways from Aurelien Comte. And in these weather conditions, in these temperatures, you do not want to be putting that kind of load through the tyres too often. They'll very quickly overheat, the grip will fall away, and now Comte is compromised. John Philippi sees this as an opportunity, and Aurelien needs to calm and gather everything together as quickly as possible, minimise the thermal degradation on the tyres, don't put too much drama, load and heat through those rear tyres, otherwise the car's going to very quickly start to hemorrhage lap time compared to those around him. And this has opened up an opportunity for John Philippi. This has widened the eyes of the French driver to know there is a potential to find a way past now, as Philippi follows through the fastest corner of the circuit at Senior. Both drivers stay within the racing surface as defined by the stewards. Philippi keeping a much tighter line through Boussaint, but then runs out wide to get the run off of the long sweeping right-hander Aurelien Comte. Make no mistake about it, is the man under the most pressure. He locks an inside wheel as well, runs a little bit deep, no for harm, no foul there, though Philippi's not going to have enough room to get alongside. John Philippi now reloads the barrel of the gun, ready to pull the trigger in the final corner. Can he find a way past? Philippi's got the inside, that'll become the outside. Will he switch back to the inside line? Not quite as early as usual, but tries to get the launch off the turn for the run down into T1. Philippi not quite enough this time. Aurelien Comte survives for now. There's been a warning for car number 17, which is Sascha Botterman, for abuse of track limits. So Sascha has got the beady eyes of the stewards upon him. He needs to be a little bit careful in 9th position to not attract any more attention, but doing a fabulous job, it has to be said. Hanging on just about to the back of this pack. The cork in the bottle is Aurelien Comte that we're looking at here, but Sascha Botterman having a very respectable drive indeed. Having retired on lap 1 yesterday, this is, in effect, his debut in a touring car, and it's a very impressive performance from the 34-year-old Frenchman so far to stay within shouting distance of teammate, 2017 champion and winner in TCR Italy last time out, Aurelien Comte. So good performance from the French driver. You'll see in the back of your shot there. Once again, Philippi looking to the outside for some fresh air into the front of his Audi, conscious of temperatures. No need to follow the back of the Cooper car, no need to take advantage of the slipstream, so you may as well get some fresh air, some cooling air into that Audi, and then slots back in for the braking zone, follows him, wheel tracks on the exit of the chicane. Will Philippi, there we go, goes back out, gets some fresh air again. So that fight will continue. We'll keep half an eye on that one as we look now at someone we've not spoken about since pretty much the opening lap, Kobe Powles. He was agitated to be 3rd in qualifying, it has to be said. Yesterday morning he felt there was more performance in himself and the car. 3rd wasn't what he was looking for, was the rookie Belgian driver. He had a solid race yesterday, scored a podium position, and today he has got the deal done. Our race leader by 3.5 seconds from Nicola Baldan. So good performance from from Kobe Powles. Still has a couple of laps to tick off on the books before we can celebrate that race victory. But Powles doing everything he needs to do. He's 3rd in the championship standings coming into this race, but a victory will do his chances of getting in that conversation for the final 2 weekends of the year. No harm whatsoever. Great performance thus far from Kobe Powell as he's now embarking on the final lap of this race. 3.6 seconds to the good, an almost unheard of level of advantage in TCR touring car racing. Commanding performance from the Belgian driver ahead of Nico Baldan so far. Coronel, good work to get onto the podium in 3rd position, so that's going to help his championship charge as well, especially over this man John Philippi, who is still locked in a battle royale with Aurelien Comte. On this final lap, Philippi sees an opportunity to find a way past. He's going to switch back to get the run off of the corner in comparison to the Cooper driver. Comte keeps the inside line, blocks Philippi, gives him no opportunity to carry that speed forward. So Aurelien Comte now on the defensive on this final lap of the race here at Paul Ricard, here in TCR Europe, for what has been a thrilling round 10 of the championship. Great driving throughout the field, and still we have got a question to answer. Can Philippi get the deal done? Late to the inside, not quite the overlap he needs, but he manages to make the corner very nicely indeed. He'll carry that speed on corner exit. He'll have another opportunity, and Aurelien Comte needs to defend for everything he's worth on this final lap as Kobe Powell brings the car through Bousset for the final time for what will be an exceptional victory for the Continue Racing man at the front of the field. Serenely on. Kobe Powell does go at the front of the pack from Nico Baldan. No competition for the number 8. 3.8 seconds to the good is Powell's. Number 8 to Nico Baldan in 2nd place. Another very strong race indeed from the returning Italian driver in his first weekend for Continue Racing in the Audi LMS TCR. So here we go through the final turn for Kobe Powell. He sees the checkered flag. He'll go to the checkered flag. Kobe Powell is the winner of TCR Europe Round 10 at Paul Ricard in a commanding performance for Continue. 2nd place, flash of the lights once again for Nico Baldan, and this little squabble in 5th and 6th position. Philippi tries to do the drag race to the line, but Aurelien Comte is equal to that charge and holds on to 5th place, just ahead of yesterday's winner John Philippi. Victor Davidovsky and Lewis Brown as one crossed the line in 7th and 8th, and a very impressive drive indeed for Sasha Botterman. 9th position on his touring car debut ahead of Daniel Tkachenko, Victor Anderson and Levente Lesanche being the only driver not to make the full race distance, classified in 12th. But Kobe Powell, everybody at home, I ask you to salute this young man, because that was a commanding performance. And let's not forget, Kobe Powell's still a teenager. He is in his 1st year of touring car racing, having progressed from the European RX3 Junior Rallycross Championship, where he was a champion. In 2023, he's migrated to circuit racing and touring cars, and from the moment he got behind the wheel of that Continue Racing Audi, he has looked like nothing short of a superstar. Taking race victories, taking pole positions, racing wheel to wheel and getting the better of vastly experienced and talented touring car drivers. Kobe Powell is the real deal, and this victory will help his championship charge no end. Currently 3rd in the standings behind 2 teammates in John Philippi in 2nd and Tom Coronel in 1st. Spoke to him yesterday, was discussing how great his year has been, how he's got the rookie trophy pretty much wrapped up, how he should be so proud of himself for the way he's adapted to touring cars, and he responded in the words of pretty much, yeah, that's all great, but when you get a taste of wins, you just want the championship. And all I'm focusing on now is victories and championships. Not bothered about the rookie, not bothered about it being a good performance, moving to touring cars. I just want to end the season as champion. So here are your results for round 10 of TCR Europe. Kobe Powell from Nico Baldan and Tom Coronel round out our podium. Ruben Volt, another good drive to finish in 4th position. Ahead, Aurelian Comte and John Philippi. Great fight for 5th and 6th place. Victor Davidovsky finishes just in front of Lewis Brown in 7th and 8th. Sasha Botterman, a great performance in his touring car debut, crosses the line in 9th position, just ahead of the second Volcano car of Daniel Kachenko in 10th. 11th place is Victor Anderson, disappointed, I'm sure. 11th position, Levente Lesanche had to go down pit lane, but did cross the line in the end in 12th position, albeit a couple of minutes behind. Chasing pack, oh look what it's done for our championship. John Philippi, 37 points, dropped a few in this race, but just behind him, Kobe Powell's 39 away, less than 1 victory from teammate Tom Coronel at the front of the pack. Victor Davidovsky moves up into 4th position, but he's still locked in that fight with Lewis Brown and Dusan Borkovic in 4th, 5th and 6th places. Nicola Baldan's had 2 2nd-place finishes this weekend, but of course he only raced at the season opener at Portimao with the aggressive Team Italia Elantra, so Baldan is not in the championship reckoning overall, courtesy of missing many of the rounds. But good performance again for Nico Baldan, and a great performance for that man, Tom Coronel, from 9th to 3rd in a field as closely contested as this. Is an outstanding drive from Tom Coronel, and he's re-increased his championship lead over main rival so far, John Philippi, in 2nd place. And there is Kobe Powell's doing exactly what I said he should do yesterday evening in the paddock. Go and win, and before you know it, you're going to be in championship contention. Go and win is exactly what he's done. Look at that young man. He is satisfied with that result. Great performance from Kobe Powell's, and that will not go unnoticed, I am sure, by the ComTU Racing team. And more importantly, his teammates. They know they've got a very talented young driver on their hands who is going to be difficult to beat over the course of this season. We are going to tracks he doesn't know any of them. He's new to touring cars, but that's not been any kind of hindrance this season. So expect Kobe Powell to take it to this man, Tom Coronel, right the way through to our conclusion of the TCR Europe Championship and the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalonia, in a couple of months' time. Big hug from Vanessa. Great performance. Big hug from Tom Coronel as well, his teammate. Coronel is a sportsman at heart. He wants to win this championship, but he wants to enjoy the fight as well, it has to be said. And everybody, good job. Very good job indeed, Kobe Powell, it has to be said. That was a dominant performance. Got the deal done off the start, got the deal done. An aggressive opening couple of laps, a decisive opening couple of laps for Kobe Powell's. Worked his way through the traffic with a minimum of fuss, kept the car clean, kept the car out of trouble, got himself up to the front of the field, and from there on inwards, it was never going to be anybody else but Kobe Powell that takes the checkered flag here at Paul Ricard and takes with it the points. And now the initiative as we head into Monza on the 23rd and 24th of September for our penultimate weekend of the year. Great scenes then here at Paul Ricard. We have many disappointed drivers, I am sure, not least of which that man Levente Lesanche was hoping for a much better weekend than came his way. But when the lights went out, the temperature was matched on track as to what we've seen here in the south of France. Some great driving all the way through the field. Victor Davidovsky provided plenty of entertainment. Aurelian Comte as well was hard defending, aggressive driving. He got a great position in 5th place. Light contact on lap 2 between our 2 race leaders. The stewards have investigated and no further action necessary. Smoking of the tyres from Victor Davidovsky. He started this race looking for a victory across the finish line in 11th position, but the victory went to that man, Kobe Powell. He was dominant at the front of the field, did not put a wheel wrong. Once again, paying homage to the fact he's a young driver, but acts with all the experience, composure and tenacity in the world to take the victory ahead of Nico Baldan and Tom Coronel. Coronel extends his championship lead over John Philippi. There they are now getting a much needed glass of water before we head onto the podium celebrations. Just around the corner from the commentary boxes, that one actually the media centre. You can see just behind you the commentary boxes through the other side of that media centre, and you can see these drivers have worked hard. It's 30 degrees air temperature here at Paul Ricard. And a 10-lap race in a closed-top touring car is a very difficult task. Let's have a listen in.
Kreeg je een tik van Victor? Nee, die stond gewoon de deur.
Yeah. Tom and Kobe, a little bit of a debrief between the two of them. And that's what I like to see. They come to you racing drivers, the championship rivals, but there's a healthy mutual respect between the two of them. They work together as a team, they go forward together as a team, and the racing is very fair out on circuit, and that's great to see, and that's part of the ethos of TCR competition, TCR Europe, TCR in general. It's a very family atmosphere, and we all work together to put on a good show for the audience. And there is your third place man, Tom Coronel, helmet in hand, arms aloft. He's pleased with that one, pleased to take a trophy home. Nico Baldan, another exceptional drive from the Italian in second on the grid. And then Kobe Powell's, to the applause of his rivals and the crowd, gets the top step of the podium for yet another TCR Europe victory.
And now the German anthem from Belgium.
And now for the national anthem.
Congratulations.
Congratulations indeed to our podium finishers. Vanessa up there as well, a representative for CompTU Racing, struggling to get the hat on. There we go. And now it'll be time for the trophies to be awarded. Paulo Ferreira, the promoter of TCR Europe, gives the third place trophy to Tom Coronel. Will we see a Coronel leap? Not quite yet, as Nico Baldan picks up yet another second place trophy. There we go, arms aloft, and the Diamond Trophy first place finisher as well. So it's been a big haul. There is the Coronel leap, good man for the photographers. And then Kobe Powell's first place in the race, and first place also in the rookie trophy. And there is first place for CompTU as well. Great stuff to see our podium finishers. And remember, we're back at Monza on the weekend of the 23rd and 24th of September. So from us all at Paul Ricard, bye-bye.